out in the open. That is the only way we can actually stop them, is by luring them out. I believe that is the best way, the best method of getting rid of these pedophiles and people that are hurting innocent people, is by luring out the real criminals and protect the innocent rule of law. And protect people feeling secure when they're talking to their friends on MySpace and when guys are trying to look for dates. The minute we start getting paranoid on the internet is the minute we're going to start being paranoid off the internet. The minute we all start getting paranoid is the minute we're breaking away from unity. We're breaking away from the United States. And we pretty much want to do our own thing because we're too afraid to have friends. Or because we can't get friends. That is the reasons why so many people are busy anymore and never sociable, because so many people can't be sociable anymore because we have to protect society by isolating everybody. And how many daughters complain that their parents are trying to isolate them, and I'm getting tired of this whole isolation as our protection. Because it is violating free will and violating the laws of consent. And it is violating. It's just violating everything. It violates what humanity stands for. That's what makes us different than the robots and different than the animals and stuff like that. You know, that's what makes us civilized, is that we have the laws of free will. That as long as we don't harm another human being, we have the rights to follow whatever beliefs or whatever ways we want. Like, another show that kind of shows what's going on is stuff like Wife Swap. That's another example of how divided families are. Instead of accepting one another, each one thinks they're right and they're wrong. Well, if a family enjoys living the way they're living, that should be their decision. Although I do agree that we need to change. That change does happen. It doesn't mean that we should force the change. We do not need to force it or reject it. We need to just allow change to happen, like a river flowing. If we start controlling the river, eventually it's no longer going to be a beauty of nature, but it's going to become some simply controlled river system, and that's what they're doing to us right now. The government's going to control us till eventually we become passive citizens. And I believe that no one should ever obey what a police officer says unless there's a warrant, or unless there's upon probable cause. Like, when someone's speeding on the road, that is probable cause. The cop witnessed and got a report on his speedometer that the person's speeding. That is proof enough, and other people might notice that he's speeding, so he's got like hundreds and thousands of witnesses against him. So this is different than the laws of speeding. I'm not saying that people should have the right to speed. I'm saying that if you're not speeding, if a cop claims you are, and you have proof that you are not, that you should not allow a cop to detain you. Or you should tell them to give you your rights, and to ask for a lawyer, and that you want to go to court to battle this out. Never ever do anything that's not constitutional. Like, if a cop asks to search your car because you are speeding, deny him those rights, because they shouldn't look at what you have in your car. Because what is he trying to look for? Something illegal? There's no probable cause. I know I sound like a lawyer right now. I'm just trying to tell you people, and I know I'm sort of kind of going away from, the relevant subject, and I'll just consider this podcast two different subjects. And it's kind of around the same subject. In that, if we want a good justice system and to not be afraid of one and paranoid of one another, we need to get rid of these anti-free will systems. We need to get rid of the criminals that want to take away our will to refuse to be raped. Like, if a woman doesn't want to have sex, and she's being forced into it. That is an act of rape, and it's against the laws of free will. So then they're going against. So the laws I'm talking about does not protect criminals. It is actually protecting justice, the cops, and us. It does not protect the criminals. I believe that those should be the three main laws of our country. And three main laws of possibly international laws is that we have those three laws protecting our rights to have free will. That is why I do USWGO. I do it because I am fighting for free will. I am fighting for our rights to not be declared terrorists. I want to challenge, I want to peacefully fight any cop that declares me or any of the people a terrorist. Because a real terrorist is somebody who actually hurts people. Like Al-Qaeda, like how they want to keep bombing and attacking people for no reason. Or they like to say a few racial slurs or a few junky words and they claim that, oh, God's helping them kill people. Well, they are the real terrorists, people that actually want to kill one another. Well, if people want to kill one another, though, and they both agree that they want to die, that's their choice. But if they want to kill other people, like innocent people that don't want to die, then that is a breach of the three laws. And it is an act of terrorism. So my podcast, I hope that cops that listen to me, I hope that any police officer that goes and listens to my podcast will not go around and declare me some criminal like they are with the Ron Paul supporters. I know they will. I know cops will probably try to harass me and people will probably try to follow me as they are with Alex Jones. But I'm not afraid to admit that we need free will. Free will is essential to liberty and rights and is essential to stopping criminals. It doesn't mean that we can do whatever we want. If we can do whatever we want, then maybe that's that kind of makes anarchism look bad. But I believe that any criminal that tries to take away any rights of the people is violating the three laws that I have set. I also believe that, and this is my last words for the podcast, otherwise it'll be a very long podcast. I want any of you to come onto my forum and challenge my podcast, or challenge my beliefs, or challenge what I'm saying. I want people to be free to choose what they want. Free will is essential for a free nation. And the rights of consent, that we shouldn't do anything we don't want to do. We should have the rights to consent. And I believe in a fair justice system, and I believe in fair trade and fair systems. If there's rich people that have all the power and all the money and all the monopolies, that is not fair trade. That's criminalism. It's where they have all the power while all the other people get hardly anything, and they're going through a lot of problems. That if we really want true fair trade, the rich have to give up a lot of their money as well, and start putting themselves into a fair, equal level playing field. I am Brian D. Hill, the admin of USWGO.HYIPO.net, and this is what I believe, and this is why I want people to join USWGO. Is for a campaign for a freer America and a freer future for the entire human race, that no criminal can get past. A system where all criminals will be prosecuted, while those who have free will and maintain and allow free will are allowed to roam the earth freely. And that's the only way we can have a true good country. It's not Obama's way, but it is the way of free will. It is the way of choice. Choices, our politicians claim that we have a choice. That we have a choice that we could go to prison. They think that's a choice. That we have to obey the law or go to prison. That is not a choice. It is to discourage people from free will.